overcome it because the European Union is a model, is a political organization with high attraction to the people in the former communist states. They wanted to become members of that. So in a way, the military power of the United States and the civilian power of the European Union acted together. And we would like this complementarity of toolboxes which we have to also work to solve the present problem. And we are working hard on terrorism, both domestically and internationally.
I understand you're working on a very senior diplomatic level, but I also understand the European Union has put together an initiative for, I believe, 15 EU centers throughout the United States in conjunction with a variety of different universities, including the University of Miami and Florida International University here.
And by the way, we were told that this is the first joint venture those two universities have ever had together. So look at the unifying force of the European Union, even in Miami.
Wow, diplomacy expands even beyond your reach.
But it shows that we want to this political process of transatlantic partnership to be supported by a number of constituencies. I mentioned the business community because of the importance of our business relations. But there's the academic community, there are the media. There are all kind of people who are interested in seeing the world to become a better place and to understand that the European Union is the most important contribution to that on the other side of the Atlantic.
Let's talk about the media for a second. There's been great criticism on the U.S. media in terms of the information that the American viewers really had on the stark criticism of the United States in terms of the war in Iraq, and also on security policy and terrorism. And now I understand there are a number of European countries who are not very happy about the increased security measures in the airports and having to be fingerprinted. And
but that's not the fault of the media. I mean, that is something which we all agree there have to be measures in order to make our society secure. But I think we would need more of the kind of programs which we are just being together on, because as Paul Krugman, a professor from Princeton University, once said, that we have different views partly because we see different news. And it is a fact that when you are living in the United States, you are so absorbed by all kind of domestic stories, of a very limited number, by the way, which are shown on all the channels you can see.
And now it's all syndicated, so the diversity of news sources is
well, I don't want to be dragged into your internal problems there, but everybody who travels in Europe and watches television, not only do we have programs in different languages there, each country has 2, 3, 4 television stations, but we have a much more comprehensive way of reporting on what's going on in the rest of the world. So we are here trying to help to create the awareness of the United States for those problems.
Well, let's talk about the European Union and Florida relationships. I believe we have a graphic that talks about some of the statistics. Perhaps we can bring that up on the screen. I was surprised to learn that the EU is the #1 foreign investment partner for the state of Florida. That the European Union investment amounted to over $18.4 billion, or 51% of the total foreign investment in Florida.
That's correct, and this reflects the overall situation between the United States and the European Union. Let me just give you one figure there. In both the United States and the European Union have the major foreign direct investment flow coming from the other side. It's around two-thirds. Two-thirds of all foreign direct investment in the United States come from the European Union, and vice versa. And there's no wonder that the 50 states of the United States reflect this situation. I think except 1 or 2 states, for 1 or 2 states, the European Union is not only the major source of investment, but also the major export market. Florida's exports, some 30% of them go to the European Union. And the same goes for the East Coast as well as for the West Coast.
Right. I understand Florida's goods exported to the EU accounted for $3.2 billion and represented over 13% of the total exports. I wish we had more time to continue on this conversation. Stay tuned for more with Ambassador Burghardt after this break.
and gentlemen, Ed, our company's new president.
Wow. That reminds me of how President William Henry Harrison, 9th American president, caught a cold on Inauguration Day. 31 days later, boom, dead. Yeah, completely dead. 6 feet under.
It's fun to know history. Find curious facts from America's past at loc.gov, the Library of Congress website.
I don't know where the time is gone. We have so much to talk about in so little time on such very important topics. It's amazing to think about the dynamics of an enlarged European Union to include 10 new member countries later this year, for a total of 25 countries in the EU. I would like to thank our guest, Ambassador Guenter Burghardt, for taking the time to share his thoughts on the European Union and U.S. relations, as well as expansion of the EU to include new member countries in May, EU's common foreign and security policy, in addition to several other interesting topics. For more information about the European Union and the United Nations Association, please visit the websites on your screen. For viewer questions and comments, you can also contact us at www.cabletap.com. Thank you again so much for joining us today. The European Union, again, is expanding to include 10 new member countries, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens later on this year. I'll see you next time on Miami's Global Connection. I'm Whitney Belker. All right.